Hey guys, Treetop Viper back. I'm gonna go ahead and make this video now and load it a little bit before 7 o'clock. It's mid-afternoon right now. Right now I'm smoking a what's left of a bowl I was smoking last night, some Dunbar out of my Parker sitter. Definitely an enjoyable smoke. This has been jarred up for the last year. See a little bit of crystalling on it, but not much else. Hasn't really gotten darker or anything like that. But anyway, down to brass tacks, as they say. By the way, I've used my wired headphones as a microphone this time. Hopefully they work better than the AirPods and the regular microphone of the phone itself. Doesn't seem to work very well. If there's any background noise, most likely it's my air conditioner. Geez, how the heck do you get these open? They don't have the little coin slot on them, so you can open it up. There must be a particular way you got to do it. There we go. There's your presentation. Comes with a little card that says, a selection of the world's finest tobaccos, hand blended for your smoking pleasure. What is that? Northwest, east, and south. And this is what our flakage is looking like. It smells delicious. God, that's dark. It's almost like a plug, but on this side there seems to be some crystallization, maybe a little bit of oh no, what did I just do there? Got some tobacco on my coffee. Oh well. Just a few specks anyway. But anyway, on the top here seems to be this top flake. Got most of the plumage. I can see some oriental in there. There's like a green strip there, and that is small leaf tobacco. Unless it's plume, that's small leaf tobacco. Small leaf tobacco has that greenish tint to it. It really does. Has a greenish kind of a look. Jeez, this is almost ready to smoke right out of the tin here. I'm just gonna do a smaller one for right now. A smaller bowl, just to get a feel for it. And I'll just kind of, I'll take that flake and I'll just do that a couple of times, once or twice. Ooh, I can hear a storm or something brewing in the background. Oh yeah, big time. Got some thunder in the background there. That's no fun. Means it's gonna be cold soon. I swear down here, every time it rains, boom, you get that cold front, moves right in behind it. And you get freezing fucking weather. Excuse me, you get freezing weather for a day or two. Which us freezing is the 50s. You know, that's a little cold, a little chilly for us. Especially on a motorcycle. Kind of gotta layer up a little bit more on a motorcycle. I end up having to wear grid fleece long johns. Still have my old boy. Love this lighter. That is so mellow. That is so mellow and good. Oh man. That is a really nice blend. Just from that first charring light I can tell. The Virginias and the Latakia have married very well with this one. And I do detect a mild amount of Orientals in there. This is kind of like a Balkan. Similar to Penzance almost. There's a lot of flavor there. A lot more than I expected. There's a sharp kind of tanginess from the Latakia, balanced out with like a nice warm rounded sweetness from the Virginias. Just from this few puffs I've had, I can tell you right now that this is going into my rotation. And I must say, I didn't think very highly of Brebbia tobaccos until now. Never had any. I just don't see pipe companies producing very good tobacco, although Dunhill is a pipe company and they had good tobacco. Even though it wasn't made by them, it was made by a tobacco company. Almost has a quiet nights kind of a complexity. It definitely doesn't just taste like Latakia and Virginias. If it is, kudos to them because it tastes more, it tastes more complex than that. It tastes more complex than, say, Dunhill's Baby Bottom, which is just Latakia and Virginias. The moisture content was just right out of the tin. A very intriguing smoke. Full-bodied, round, really round flavor. At the highs and the lows, you know, you get the smoky tanginess from the Orientals and the Syrian. You get the low sweets from the Virginias, and you end up with a really nice round circular flavor. Supremely well balanced smoke. Supremely well balanced. I will say that. Stings the nostrils a little bit with a big retro hail. This reminds me of this is a very high quality blend. Doesn't taste like just two tobaccos here. Tastes like it at least has Orientals in it, so it tastes like it's got at least 3 different strands, different types of tobacco, although there may be more, maybe 6 different Virginias, you never know. Especially when it just says Sweet Virginias and Syrian Latakia. Really complex, almost like Penzance. Maybe not quite as well married as Penzance is, or the Penzance I've been smoking lately. But a really well married blend. They just go together really nice, the contents of the blend. It reminds me of how in science you can take a cup of alcohol and a cup of water, add them together, and you don't end up with 2 cups of fluid. You end up with less than 2 cups of fluid. Even though you had a cup of alcohol and a cup of water, you add them together, you don't get 2 cups. Reason being is the molecules of the alcohol fit into the molecules of the water. So they together don't take up as much space as they do separately. This reminds me of that. Not to say that this isn't a complex blend, or that because they're added together they have less complexity. No, not at all. The absolute opposite. Just kind of reminded me of that for some reason. Like all of a sudden, instead of it tasting like a blend, it tastes like one tobacco that has all those attributes. The attributes of Latakia, Syrian Latakia, the attributes of Virginias, the attributes of Orientals. That's when you know you have a really well married blend. There was a piece of tobacco that fell into this cup. So this is a really fantastic blend. I don't know if it's still for sale. I'm really glad I let this set for a year before I touched it. Which, at least for a little while, the reviews I'm going to be doing are going to be tobaccos that I've had for the last 8 months to a year. They are going to be well-married tobaccos. Just has a nice sweet smokiness to it. Not cased. And it's hard to find tobaccos like this, blends like this. Germain's doesn't have many of them, where that sweetness really is so prevalent. I feel like you'd kind of have to make this blend yourself if you wanted to, like, you'd have to take 2 Germain's blends and blend them yourself to get this kind of a flavor. Either you're smoking a Germain's Virginia that's nice and sweet with Perique in it or Burley in it, or you're smoking a Germain's English blend that is just smoky and sour and tangy. You don't get them both typically out of a Germain's blend. I mean, for just 2 tobaccos, supposedly, this reminds me a lot of Quiet Nights, and Quiet Nights is 4 tobaccos. Perique, Latakia, Virginia, and Orientals. 4 different strands, 4 different types. So for this to hold a candle to that, and supposedly only be 2 tobaccos, I'm surprised. I'm pretty sure there's Orientals in here, though. I could see what looked like Orientals, small leaf Orientals, and I'm tasting what tastes like a tanginess from Orientals. So I would say there's Orientals in it. Sweet, tangy, smoky, all wrapped into one package. Delicious. It's a shame I only got 2 tins. I don't have many tobaccos like this. You know, I could go through this pretty quick, I think. Other blends like Penzance, Our Best Blend, 1820 mixture. It's harder for me to burn through those tobaccos because I can if I want, but it's easier for me to make them last because I can rotate them. I can smoke Penzance one day, 1820 one day, and Our Best Blend another day, and get the same kind of smoke out of it, the same experience. So I can kind of split it up between them and make all 3 blends last longer. Whereas this, I don't have many like this. I've also got a year-old tin of Quiet Nights, which I've done a review on Quiet Nights, but now that I'm smoking this and kind of comparing it to Quiet Nights, I think I'm gonna open that tin and do another review, or do uh, you know, come back to it after it's after a year of marrying in the tin, sealed tin. I mean, you really have to factor that in. When you're talking about a complex blend like Quiet Nights or a blend like this, it takes time for those tobaccos to really marry. It's the perfect word. For them to come together as one, where it's hard to distinguish flavors. Or it's really complex but has a perfectly married flavor to it. I doubt this would have had that a year ago. Kudos to Brebbia, by the way. That they were able to make a blend this good. I mean, it's really good. Really good. There's such a nice tanginess to it. Reminds me of like a skiff mixture with more Latakia. It is almost like, it's not quite a Latakia bomb, but it has this really robust Latakia flavor to it. It's not floral like typical Syrian Latakia. Really robust Latakia flavor. But at the same time tangy and sweet and deep. Really deep. The retrohale is impeccable. It's an impeccable smoke. Brebbia number 9. Brebbia Flake number 9. I don't know if they still produce it or not, if it's still available or not. If you've got some and you haven't had it yet, I suggest you try it. Especially if you're a Latakia fan, it is on point. I can taste the Virginias back there. They add that depth. Dark Virginias too. Dark. I almost get a slight fruitiness from them. A fruity smokiness. Man, this would go great as an evening smoke. Really does remind me of Quiet Nights, but it's smoother and more mellow. I think because the Quiet Nights I've smoked has typically been new and fresh and hasn't had time to marry, hasn't had time to mellow. This has. Really just awesome. So if you guys get a chance to try this, first of all, I suggest you let it marry and mellow for at least 6 months. Second, Once you've done that, crack that baby open and enjoy. Um, Once again, Brebbia Latakia flake number 9, fantastic blend, fantastic blend. I wish I could get more. Wish I had got more. If I was to rate this 1 out of 10, this would have at least an 8. At least an 8. And I would say it's right up there with Penzance, right up there with Stonehaven, right up there with those blends. Quiet Nights. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and cut you guys loose. I hope you guys enjoy the review. If you haven't tried this, give it a shot. And until next time, Treetop Piper, over and out.